This is CGTN, China Global Television Network.
Hello and welcome to CGTN's special program, the Winter Olympics 5G Express Beijing to Zhangjiakou. I'm your host, Greg Lafredi, and today, with less than a month to go until the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics, we're going to tell you about some of the many things to look forward to at the Games, and in particular, the many technological achievements that will be showcased, including 5G, AR, and the high-speed train linking the competition zones. Now, the Beijing Winter Olympics will be divided into 3 competition zones: Beijing, Yanqing, and Zhangjiakou, as you can see on the map in front of me. Now, almost all of the ice events, plus one snow event, will take place in Beijing. That one event is the Big Air. Yanqing will host alpine skiing and the sliding events, while in Zhangjiakou, it will be the remaining snow events. Now, connecting the 3 competition zones are 2 high-speed trains. By using the latest 5G plus 4K and 8K plus AI technology, and here is the train, arriving on our studio platform just in time. Now, on this train, the China Media Group has set up a special studio on a carriage on the train from Beijing to Zhangjiakou, from which we will be able to conduct live streaming. The studio represents a major advance in technology. It will be the first time in the world to record and broadcast with Ultra HD streaming on a high-speed train. We would very much like to share it with our global counterparts and together present a wonderful and extraordinary Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics to the world. And now joining us from inside the train is my colleague Tianwei. Hello there, Tianwei. Please tell us more about this unique new studio.
Hi, Greg. I am exactly on this 5G Express linking Beijing and also Zhangjiakou, which you just introduced. I'm now joined in the studio by Dongjun, our sports commentator, and later we'll also be joined by our reporters who are now scattered in different train carriages on this 5G Express. We are now, in fact, in Qinghe Station in Beijing. The train is officially in service today, carrying us on board for the very first trip. And this is the very first time in the world to do ultra high definition live streaming on a moving high speed train. So this is very special. Stay tuned with us because we're going to test all the technologies that are available here. And I'm staying in this 5G studio. Later, we're going to have experts to introduce to us what it means. But now, Dongjun, it's good to see you since 2008 Beijing Olympics.
13 and a half years.
Alrighty.
After
yes,
so
indeed.
many years, we are still very crazy about the Olympics.
Absolutely. I mean, after the Winter Games and also the Paralympic Winter Games, Beijing already hosted, by then, already 5 of the Olympics.
Yeah, we have to say we're so lucky. You know, our hometown can be the very first city in the world to host both.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. And we are staying on this 5G Express. In fact, we are having a whole train of reporters already with us today.
So it's not just ordinary passengers. We're so lucky have this exclusive privilege to be on the same train with those who are inside the closed loop.
Yes, indeed. You know. You can see we have quite a spacious place here, but in fact, in other carriages on this train, it is very crowded. A lot of reporters already begin to talk about the story. And now we want to go to our reporters at this moment. Zhao Yunfei and Chen Ziyuan have found their footages from different parts of the train. Let's hear what they had to say.
I'm here in Qinghe Railway Station. I'm right outside of the 5G Express train, and it's only one of its kind here in China. What makes it special is because it has full 5G coverage. Now let's take a look at the pattern outside of the train. Look at this. This is a sports item, a winter sports item, definitely skiing. So let me show you more about what does this train look like. This is a very cool model, right? So this train has a theme color of blue, which is a very wintry scene color, and also has Olympic atmosphere. So this train is actually specially designed for the Winter Olympics. As I said, I'm here at the Xinghe railway station. This is a very pivotal transportation port that connects the Chinese capital with the northwestern city of Lanzhou. During the Olympics, it will serve the athletes and the spectators. So it has carried out a series of epidemic prevention plans. For example, during the Olympics, the athletes will enter the station from the north gate and the spectators will enter from the south. And that fulfills the closed-loop management plan. Now I'm about to board the train, and the train is about to leave, and the destination is Taiziteng railway station, which is quite close to the Olympic venues there at Zhangjiakou city. Now, I'm about to board the train and take the ride to the Taiziteng railway station. I'll see you quite soon.
It is the first of its kind to realize 5G coverage and 4K transmission on a high-speed train. Speaking of driving and operation of the train, it will also be the first time that the train can be operated under autopilot, reaching a speed of 350 kilometers per hour. It will only take about 30 minutes to travel from Beijing to Yanqing and another 30 minutes to Zhangjiakou, the third Olympic event zone. Among 3 trains traveling on the route, one has been transformed to serve the needs of the Olympic Games and transit. In terms of the operation itself, the train is equipped with automatic driving and an emergency self-propelled driving function. The lead vehicle is equipped with a battery to enable start and stop capability when navigating a 30-degree curve. For more on operation of the train, I've spoken to Wang Haitao, the driver, on how they are working to ensure a safe and steady riding experience in the upcoming Winter Games.
针对奥运期间保证
To ensure safe operation of the train during the Winter Games, we have taken classes on theory and practice. We have been trained on how to respond to blizzards and irregular operations. We have studied the route between Beijing and Zhangjiakou and have familiarized ourselves in the past 2 years so that we can drive the train more steadily and the passengers will have a comfortable riding experience.
They have set up emergency plans in case of severe weather condition. Even though the speed will be compromised, they say they hope everyone will have a safe and warm ride in the upcoming Winter Games.
We're going to have more information for you about this very special 5G Express. But for now, let's go to the preparations about the games. Less than 30 days to go before the Beijing Winter Olympics. Earlier, I interviewed Zhao Weidong, who is a spokesperson of BOCOC. He's been talking about safety facing the pandemic. He's also talking about how to serve the media in the best way. Take a listen.
On September 30th, along with the IOC and the IPC, we announced key policies on epidemic prevention and control, which clearly state that tickets will not be sold to spectators outside China or those subject to epidemic control measures within China. In addition, we issued 2 editions of the playbooks on October 25th and December 13th. These 2 playbooks have set out all the specific measures for the prevention and control of the epidemic. For example, we have set up several key measures, such as the remote prevention and control measures. In terms of remote control and prevention for inbound personnel, they have to carry out health monitoring at least 14 days before their departure for China. They need to report their health results on an app called My 2022 every day. They need to conduct 2 nucleic acid tests within 96 hours before their departure. They can only board the plane when the results are negative. Moreover, we believe that vaccines are an important means of epidemic prevention. So this time we have also clarified policies on vaccination. Except for a few medically exempt athletes who can enter the closed-loop management directly after being assessed by the experts, all other inbound personnel have to be...
And that is Zhao Weidong, the spokesperson for Boycott for the year 2022 Beijing Winter Games. And now I'm sitting in the 5G studio, joined by Dongjun and a new guest, who is Qi Yi, engineer from the Lab for 5G Media Application with CMG's Technology Bureau. It's so wonderful to see you. 非常高兴见到您。
你好，田文老师。
您好，今天您要给我们解释很多有关技术的话题。
So today we'll talk about a lot about
非常期
technology.
待。
It is
We
my
are looking
great honor.
forward to it. 1 minute to go from the launching of this express train. The express train is equipped with 5G technology. And not only the train, but also the stations that we pass through, 11 stations along the way, all being equipped with automatic equipment and also guiding systems. In fact, in front of us, this is the beautiful model of the train you can see on this table. And we are in the carriage number 8. There are 8 carriages. We're almost at the end of it. This is called rejuvenation. This is a very special train. And this is going to cover about 175 kilometers today. But overall, this train could ride about 350 kilometers every hour. It's very impressive. Dongjun, last time in 2008, we never had the opportunity to take a train like this.
We stayed in a never moving studio inside the building. Now
Yes,
we're
indeed.
mobile.
Yes, indeed. But I know, Mr. Qi, you've been here on this train several times. In fact, many times. 您已经在这个快车上做了很多次的这样的试验了哈。
是的。
感觉如何啊？
这个车本身
So for the train itself, it's quite stable, especially when we run in a high-speed
Stable.
railway.
So the promise is to be stable.
对，
So it's going to be live streaming, ultra high definition on a moving high-speed train. This is going to be amazing. 确实是，其实这个技术在这样一个高铁的行进过程当中实现，这个是我们大家都非常期待的。
是，因为确实是这个基于5G 网络
Indeed, because we are using the 5G network, so we want to provide the Ultra HD streaming.
这个是这次我们重点要解决
So
的一
this
个
is
技术难点。
the top priority.
So now we are at the Qinghe station. About 1 minute, I was earlier told that this express train is going to set off toward Zhangjiakou. Why going to Zhangjiakou? People are, interested, Dongjun. Why Beijing is co-hosting this Winter Olympics with Zhangjiakou? Tell us more about how the venues are being located and how different categories are going to be taking place during the Winter Games.
I think the consideration is both historical as well as contemporary. Contemporarily, it's becoming very, very popular and even fashionable for several cities collectively hosting one mega huge sporting events. It's becoming the fashion now. And historically, Zhangjiakou, not so far away from downtown Beijing, has been hosting and generating, developing winter sports, especially snow sports, for quite a while, several decades already. And now it is, finally it grabbed the opportunity to prove its value, and also Beijing can take this opportunity to develop the infrastructure of communications, construction, as well as transportation.
And it's beautifully reflected on this train, in fact, right? But when we talk about the ice and snow sports, in fact, there are 3 areas of the 2022 Beijing Winter Games. Oh, we are moving, aren't we? Wow, we are setting off toward Zhangjiakou. As you said, it is stable. 是确实很平稳。
是的。
跑起来也会这样吗？
越快越平稳。
The faster stable.
Faster, just more stable. Okay, we're looking forward to it. So there are 3 zones, in fact, in Beijing, Zhangjiakou, and Yanqing. Beijing is more ice sports, or the
37 sports. Primarily on ice, with only a few exceptions, the snow big air.
And also Yanqing and Zhangjiakou are mainly ice sports.
And this train links the 3 locations, from downtown Beijing to Yanqing, and then finally to Zhangjiakou.
this train is actually going to run about 350 kilometers per hour. So this is the specialty about this train, 5G Express. Not only that, the ultra high definition live streaming is going to take place continuously along this journey on a fast moving express train. I'm very fascinated by this. This is a clear day. 今天的天气真不错。
非常好。
We can see great visibility from the window of the train. I'm sure we're going to cut off to some of those footages for you. We are passing through the Qinghe station, which is the first station we are experiencing today. But along this long route, actually 11 stations, we're going to cover just part of it today just to test the technologies. 这个5G 技术，再加上我们现在的5G 的 studio， 大家都会觉得说，这个到底会给我们带来一个什么样的与众不同的感受？我想请您给我们介绍介绍。
其实，在这个演播室当中，
So actually in the studio,
京张高铁的5G 超高
we have 5G network in the Beijing Zhangjiakou high-speed railway. So the train is in a moving state. So from Beijing to Zhangjiakou, during the travel, actually we are able to provide the production for the programs. And because of the bandwidth of the 5G network, and also, it is the first time for us to stream the Ultra HD videos.
Explain to us a bit later. 一会儿再跟我们更多介绍介绍，好不好？ For now, I'm joined by a reporter of ours, Zhao Yunfei. He is at a different carriage. Let's see what he has for us now. Yunfei, go ahead.
Hey there, Tianwei. You know what? This is one of the most interesting live shots I have ever done. We're in the same train, but I'm actually in a different carriage. I'm going to show you what this is like in a different carriage. First of all, I want to show you the signal signs right above me. It says next station Taizicheng. Well, later on, it will be changed to, see, Chinese. So a lot of the signs over here on this train are bilingual, Chinese and English, because this train is definitely designed for the Winter Olympics. There are a lot of English languages over here. Another thing I want to show you, the beautiful sights over here. You can get a very wintry view over here. So we have just get departed over here, and then you can see a beautiful scene right outside. Now, the Beijing to Zhangjiakou Railway has a very historical backgrounds. It was the first self-developed train that China has ever made. It has a history of over 100 years old. So definitely there are many stories along the Beijing to Zhangjiakou Railway. They have overcome many technical difficulties in the mountainous area. I want to show you this skiing equipment locker over here, because certainly this train is designed for the Winter Olympics, so it's also a very important commute tool for ski lovers. So this is the place where actually they can put in their snowboards, just like buckling up their snowboard like this. And there we go. So for people who like skiing or snowboarding, certainly this is a good place for them to store their belongings. And now, given the fact that this is the train for the Winter Olympics, and a lot of the things have really are visible. What I've shown you is something that really visible, but what is being invisible is the full 5G coverage. The reason how you can see me doing a live shot, high definition transmission, is just because of the 5G network. So there are so many possibilities going on this train, and there are many reporters passing by, and they have invited so many reporters on this train. Anyways, speaking of reporters, there is a press car, and later on my colleague Chen Ziyuan is going to introduce more over there. All right, too crowded, back to you.
Thank you very much, Yunfei. Certainly a lot of fascinating stuff already there in the carriage where you are. Thank you, really appreciate it. Bring us more when you have it. You know, when it comes to the 5G technologies and how it is going to be done within this 5G studio, we have to go to the expert. So Qi is still with us. So I would like to know more. You know, 5G Express, 350 kilometers an hour, and we wanted to have the ultra high definition transmission live stream stable all the time. How will that happen?
是这样的，其实
Well, for the 5G network, when we are building the 5G studio, we mentioned that we have to achieve the 350 kilometers per hour. This is one of the challenge. And also, for the railway, we have over 100 tunnels and also some highland areas. And also we have some soundproof equipment. And in the carriage, we also have some soundproof equipment. This will also minimize the transmission of the 5G signal. We have to conquer all of those difficulties. So this time, we have to figure out how to do it in the 5G studio. But how?
That is the key issue, isn't it?
Well, I would like to use one example. And in the carriage, so we are using the mounted vehicle 5G antenna. So by having that, we are able to connect the signal from outside. So this is one point. And also when we are passing the tunnel, for some of the communication carriers, they are building up a lot of the base station with the leaky cable. So this will enable the 5G signal coming inside of the carriage. So all of these are the issues we are conquering.
I can see and hear my colleagues so vividly. Just as in the Beijing studio, this is amazing. I would love to be on this train. 我真的想坐在这个火车上，到时候就会有很多的来自于世界各国的记者都会在这里，也会有运动员和他们的教练，对吗？ So there will be coaches, athletes coming from all over the world as well as journalists. I want to stay on this train. 我不想走了，我就想坐在这里做采访了。我能碰到所有的人是吗？
对，所有往返于北京
So all the people coming from and to Beijing at Zhangjiakou, they will take this
Wonderful. I want to
Beijing
stay on this
Zhangjiakou
train so that I
train.
can interview everybody. But you know, it has a lot to do with whether this 5G studio will work. 这个5G 的演播室要非常好的运营，我才能做到这一点。
是的。
所以您还得跟我们讲一讲这个5G 演播室
Maybe you
目
could
前
tell
的
us
状况
more
如何
about the 5G
studio
studio.
we're in, how it works, how can we expect something different this time?
咱们这个所在的这个5G 的
So
超
for
高清
the
移动演播室，
5G
首先有几大
HD
特点，
studio,
就
there
是
are
我
many
们是完
features.
全根据这辆冬奥专列的
First of all,
列车车厢
we
内的特
designed
点
the
去
studio
设计和
for
建造的。
this
也就是说
high-speed
你可以看
railway.
到我们的包括我们
It
的
is
摄像机位，
customized. For
包括我
example,
们
you
的
could
舞
look
美
at the location
都
of
是
the camera, the
符合了
stage.
车内的相关的
All of
这个
these
设计
are
设
fitting
计的
in
流程的。
for the
然后同
train.
时呢，我们虽然这个车厢的空间并不大，
And
但是
even
我
though
们
it is
是
not
麻
quite
雀虽
spacious
小，
inside
五
of
脏
the
俱全。
carriage, but
我
still
们
we
包
have
括舞美、
everything in
灯
place.
光、
For
音
example,
频、
for the
视
stage,
频包装和
lighting,
供电系统，
and the
全都
audio
完
and
成
the
了建设。
electricity, we
都
have
是集中
complete
于
all
在
of the
集中于这
construction
一
of
个
all of
小
these
小的演播室
facilities.
当中。
So everything
它
is
的
in
工
the
作还是非
studio.
常
There are
强大。
many
So this
functions.
studio, 5G studio, is set up by China Media Group. And we want to share with all our partners around the world. 所以这一个演播室呢，虽然是由 CMG 来建立的，但我们却愿意和来自世界各地的媒体朋友们分享，是这样吗？
没错，
Yes.
我们非常愿意
We
跟
would like
全国
to
全球
share
的媒
this
体记者
studio
们一起分享这个成果。
with journalists
How do you
from
like
China
that,
and also from the world.
Well, I'm jealous for those who will hang around day by day here.
Yes, indeed. So I want to thank you, Qi, who is the head of the Lab for 5G Media Application with CMG Technology Bureau. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. So I guess we are already having a lot of information bringing to you about how this 5G Express work. We will later continue to discover other highlights of this train. And that's it for me now. And back to you, Greg, in the Beijing studio.
Thank you very much, Tianwei. You all look very comfortable there, I must say. We'll catch up with you further down the line. Now you're watching CGTN's special program, the 5G Express from Beijing to Zhangjiakou. We're going to take a short break, after which we'll tell you about one of the new venues for the Beijing Winter Olympics.
Beijing, China's capital and its cultural nerve center, a modern metropolis with traditional roots. And now it becomes the first city in the world to host both Summer and Winter Olympics. After 14 years, the biggest sporting extravaganza returns to Beijing. Thousands of athletes from around the globe will compete in over 100 events at 3 zones. Cheered on by over 1.4 billion Chinese citizens and millions abroad. CGTN will bring you a ringside view of the historic event. 2022 Beijing Olympics, the games that matter, on CGTN. See the difference.
Welcome back to CGTN's special program, the Winter Olympics 5G Express from Beijing to Zhangjiakou. Now, during the Winter Olympics, Zhangjiakou will host a bunch of events, including ski jumping, cross-country skiing, biathlon, and freestyle skiing plus snowboarding. Now, here in front of me is one of the new state-of-the-art venues constructed specially for the Games, the National Ski Jumping Center, nicknamed Snow Rui because it resembles a traditional Rui scepter, a Chinese talisman. Now, the venue has the largest number of projects and the highest technical difficulty of any of the new constructions for the Games. It was built in an area where the natural shape of the land closely matches the requirements of the venue, which of course minimize damage to the environment during construction. Now, beginning on February 5th, it will host 5 ski jumping events plus the 3 Nordic combined events. Now, China's newest and arguably already biggest winter sports star is Gu Ailing. As a 17-year-old, she took the sport by storm, bursting onto the scene by winning 2 gold medals in women's slopestyle and halfpipe, plus a bronze in the big air. She then followed that up by repeating the feat, winning the same 2 gold medals and bronze at the Freestyle Skiing World Championships. Now 18 years old, the Chinese sensation has picked up right where she left off this season by winning 5 golds in 1 month, and she has a very real chance to claim all 3 golds at the Beijing Winter Olympics. Now, with less than 2 months to go until those aforementioned games, the last testing event was held at the Zhangjiakou competition zone, when the National Biathlon Center welcomed technicians from around the world to prepare the venue. Ning Hong has more.
Preparations for the Winter Olympics are almost complete. Over 30 technicians from 8 countries are testing the ski tracks at the National Biathlon Center in Zhangjiakou, just north of Beijing. This is the National Biathlon Center, where we're seeing technicians and 4 runners are testing ski tracks and shooting range behind me. 11 competitions will be held in this venue, including biathlon competition and cross-country skiing. Volunteers also preparing. There will be hundreds of volunteers working here during Winter Olympics.
We'll stick to the spirit and vision of volunteers. I'm sure in their posts, the volunteers will exhibit the spirit of the Chinese youth.
Paying special attention to the COVID-19 pandemic, the volunteer team is working closely to draft the detailed plans to minimize the risk of infection for athletes and audience.
We will ensure that our volunteers will not work for over 8 hours a day.
After the testing events at the Zhangjiakou competition zone are complete, the area will enter official Olympic period in January. Ning Hong, CGTN, Zhangjiakou.
Curling is the longest running competition at the Winter Olympics, and it will start on February 2nd. That's 2 days before the opening ceremony, and conclude on February 20th, the final day of the Games. The first event is mixed doubles, which consists of teams of 2 people, 1 man and 1 woman. And hosts China will open the round robin by taking on Switzerland at 8:05 p.m. Beijing time. Beijing 2022 will be only the 2nd Olympics in which mixed doubles curling has been contested. In Pyeongchang 2018, China came 4th place with their team of Wang Rui and Ba Dexin, while Switzerland came 2nd, so China can expect a difficult opening match. There are also the traditional men's and women's competition in which teams of 4 face off, and all 3 curling events start with the same format. a round robin, then they move to the playoffs to decide the medalists. Now, for more about curling, here is a short introductory video that is part of our 1 Minute, One Sport series that will help get you up to speed with the basics of one of the oldest games on ice. Well, there you have it, and curling will take place at the National Aquatic Center, which is one of the iconic venues from the 2008 Beijing Summer Olympics, when it hosted swimming, diving, and other events, and is affectionately known as the Water Cube. Now, the venue was repurposed for Beijing 2022 and transformed into what you see before me now, the Ice Cube. What we see here are 3 sheets. In the actual venue, there will be 4, which means that up to 4 matches can be played at the same time. Now, in the future, after the Beijing Winter Olympics and Paralympics conclude, this venue will go through the same transformation each winter. It will become a fantastic winter sports destination open to the public. Now, with the preparations for the Winter Olympic Games entering its final stages, most of the test events have ended perfectly. One of the major highlights is the 5G plus 4K and 8K UHD, that's ultra high definition live broadcast, an application that is the first of its kind at an international event, and it changes the way people access high quality digital media on the move.
Multiple rounds of 5G signal tests are being conducted on the Beijing Zhangjiakou high-speed railway for international cloud relay technologies. In the high-speed trains, which can travel to speed of up to 300 km per hour, the signals will be smoothly transmitted via the 5G cloud relay backpack to the cloud relay platform.
5G plus 4K and 8K UHD cloud outdoor broadcasting is one of the key projects of the Beijing Winter Olympics. It can realize low threshold and low-cost professional-grade OB services. Cloud technology can be used on-site without OB vehicles and a large number of staff. This can significantly improve the scale and efficiency of outdoor broadcasts.
The system supports 12 channels of video and audio signal access, providing a full range of services for video monitoring, guide cutting and production. In addition, the mixer module and the subtitle module can assist in the production of more exciting programs, enabling the simple system to provide professional services.
With the accelerated large-scale commercialization of 5G, Ultra HD video is becoming one of the first application scenarios for 5G. China Media Group is leading the development and release of the relevant standards in 2021, which will significantly enhance the TV audio-visual experience.
In order to ensure the success of the live broadcast of the event, China has also put in a lot of efforts in terms of standards. For example, the AVS3 standard used in the 5G plus 4K and 8K live broadcast has been developed entirely by China and is now recognized by the international standards organizations.
UHD technology can be applied to several derivative industries, further stimulating related consumption potential. Data show that China's UHD video industry is expected to reach 2.45 trillion yuan in 2021. Aaron Liu, CGTN. Beijing.
Beijing.
The world's fastest skaters coming in with speed and balance.
Figure skaters showcasing their elegance and precision are expected to shine.
A sport of focus and concentration, curling is arguably the game's most strategic event.
The 2022 Winter Games are here. Join us for all the action, only on CGTN.
Welcome back. CGTN's special program, the Winter Olympics 5G Express Beijing to Zhangjiakou continues, and we are going to rejoin my colleague Tianwei, who is whizzing along on the high-speed train en route to Zhangjiakou right now. Tianwei, please tell us where you are in your journey.
Thank you so much, Greg. We are on a smooth journey all the way from earlier at the Qinghe station to Taizicheng. We already passed earlier the Guanting Reservoir, which is one of the most beautiful scenic spots along this express road. It is located in the junction between Beijing and Hebei province. It is one of the largest scale reservoirs in China, built in the 1950s. 2.2 billion cubic meters, wonderful place. And now I'm also joined by Dongjun. Earlier, it was a wonderful place that we have just passed, the Guanting Reservoir.
Yeah, we were passing it very fast, but I still took some glimpse. It was memorable. Guanting actually was a childhood name for me. I learned about the reservoir when I was just a young kid. And yeah, but it's still far away for urban Beijing residents. Now it takes less than maybe 20-30 minutes for them to get here.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Earlier we were passing not only the reservoir but also several tunnels. In fact, I can hear through my earpiece very well, both to hearing Greg and also other reporters, as well as the reports we are playing on the air. So as a journalist here, I feel perfectly at home. Feeling very proud about this 5G express train and our 5G studio. In fact, we are going to share this with our colleagues from around the world. So join us in this studio.
Yeah, they will test use this one. I think it will developing further even after the Winter Games. It will be used for other events, other activities all year round.
Yes, indeed. Right. After this, of course, the Paralympic Winter Games as well. But think about it, China already, Beijing particularly, already hosted so many different kinds of Olympic events. Many are really looking forward to the year 2022, just that less than 30 days from now. You know, talking about, you know, what we see along the road, this could provide people with a good glimpse of how northern China is, mountainous areas, spotted by waters, and also villages. Very nice for people to know what real China is like. And now I'm told that our reporter Chen Ziyuan is already waiting for us in the special media carriage. So our media friends from around the world, you better pay attention to this piece because you're gonna know what equipment is gonna have access to. Now, Chen Ziyuan, tell us more.
So this is really when the funds begin, and let me take you now. They set up a high-speed rail theme post office. You can see there are postcards here, and also they have designed special stamps for you if you send out postcards on the train. So this is not yet at the media carriage, but also the dining carriage. And I also want to share with you that this is a live stream, so pretty much live shows will be broadcast here during the train ride, so you can check in train to the favorite sports events that's going on, as well as this will be applied during the winter games that reporters can come here to check out scores or even watch the show. So this is a place to hang out. In addition, right now I want to share with you there are actually pictures hanging on the wall to introduce different sports that are going to play during the winter games. There are decoration along the way, and also I want to share with you that as please bear with me, we are very crowded here. I told you this is where the fun is. So there are lots of people here, and you can also see some Winter Olympic related souvenir here. You can see the little stuffed animal, the figures here, and also you can see a mini curling right here. It's pink, and this is, I think it's the paper money RMB being crumbled and being stuck inside to emphasize the idea of green and recycle Winter Olympic idea. And also you can see it's very busy out here. This is also the kitchen and mini bar for them to prepare foods. You can see some of the service assistants are lining here. There is a vending machine on my right hand side full with snacks and soft drinks, so you can really get a full experience of the train ride. As I'm approaching and walking here, this is where the media carriage is. There are a lot of colleagues actually enjoy their meal here because this is a dining carriage as well. And also here I have a special guest today sharing his train ride experience with me. So where are you from?
I'm from Russia. My name is Alexander. I have been staying in China for 4 years.
So how do you feel about the train ride?
Really interesting, because every day in China I can feel something new, and it's a very good example of it, because I don't feel any shake or vibration in this train. I can work as a journalist, and when I began to work on TV 20 years ago, there was a very long distance between broadcasting and shooting. Now you can work, and in next moment you can transmit all the information to your studio. Really excellent.
So any expectation for the Winter Games?
Yes, I'm Russian, and I will I hope that Olympic Games will be successful, and I'm sure that Beijing and all the Olympic sports really prepared for this game. And really interesting impression. I can feel that the signal is very stable. You can see tunnel, but the signal is really good. And I told you before, no shake. You can see, for example, bottle of water.
Wow. Ooh. I didn't realize that you can do this.
So really very high quality of this train, and I'm sure it will help us to do our work as reporters as good as possible.
Okay, so I want to show you, thank you so much for your time. And I also want to show you some of the feature right here. Let me bring my cameraman over. You can see the braille on this car. So you know this entire train, as well as all the carriages, are designed for winter games. That means the Olympic and also the Paralympic, for visually impaired to walk in this carriage safely. And I also want to show you that I'm going to take my seat here. You know, I'm already tuned into CGTN website here. You can get really good connections working here. I also want to show you that the table can be adjusted to the distance you like. You can very easily type here. I can file my story on time. This is also when the 5G connection come into place. Let me push that back in. One thing I call it the lifesaver for reporter is the power outlets right here. And my colleague on my right hand side is actually working, and she has the USB plug-in right here. And also you can let me send, and I also want to share with you that you're going to be able to purchase the ticket online. The website and also the app will be in English. You're able to purchase it with foreign credit card, I believe debit card as well, especially for those Oh, it's shaking. You know I'm in transit, so it's a bit shaky here. And I also want to share with you that CGTN will be providing live shots for being able to provide live shots with reporters in different languages, especially in Russian, Spanish, as well as other in Arabic as well. So this is the media carriage. You can see, I can already feel the winter sport vibe. A lot of fun things happening here, and people are actually taking a rest and enjoying their lunch for now. But that's all I have for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, our reporter at the media carriage. Certainly, there are a lot of stories going on there, and the water bottle stands still. Nice. And I can hear and see the footages very well from where I am in the 5G studio arranged by CMG. And talking about how people will travel from Beijing to Yanqing to Zhangjiakou. How about the athletes, the spectators? How will they travel from one place to another? China's high-speed railway will provide different opportunities for our guests to understand how the transportation works. And here is the story.
How long does it take to commute between two host cities of Beijing Winter Olympics? We're now in Beijing, and within just 1 hour of train ride, we'll get Zhangjiakou. But the intercity railway has more than just speed. We're now at Qinghe Railway Station. This is a very important stop in Beijing before the route stretches northwest all the way to Zhangjiakou's Chongli district.
The short-term mission for Qinghe Station is to serve the Olympic Games. In the long term, this is the starting station that connects Beijing and Lanzhou.
Now on this car, you can definitely feel the Winter Olympics atmosphere. Now during the games, some dining cars like this one will be reserved for the press. Now sitting over here, it's going to be a very enjoyable working experience, especially with the beautiful scenes outside.
In preparation for the Olympics, we've conducted training on the English language and customer service etiquette.
Almost all the signs on this bullet train are bilingual. Now this bullet train is a very important transportation tool during the Winter Olympics, serving the audience and the athletes. Alright, here we are at the Taiziteng Railway Station. Now we're quite close to the Olympic venues as well as ski resorts here in Chongli district.
During the Olympics, we will have a service center with volunteers working there.
The Beijing-Zhangjiakou route is just a small part of China's hundreds of thousands of kilometers of operating railways, and it is just one of many examples of how the high-speed railway network is bringing unlimited opportunities to the cities along the way. Zhao Yunfei, CGTN, Beijing and Zhangjiakou.
Zhao Yunfei now is still sitting with me in the 5G Express studio. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
That was a nice report.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth between Beijing and Zhangjiakou for many times. I'm a semi-expert of train, but this time, something like this, first time.
First time, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is it like for you, first time?
Well, visually everything is the same, but what is the difference is the unvisual 5G connection, which is so cool.
Definitely. When you think about how things would work on this train, it's really amazing. It's almost like a grand transformation, isn't it?
Absolutely. You probably don't see it in the surface, but actually every small step of technical improvement needs so much effort.
As a piece of cake. Everything
as a piece
in
of
this
cake
studio.
For CMG and CGTN.
In the studio as a piece of cake. And experiencing that with us, not only you sitting here, but also Dan Williams, who's in Chicago, our correspondent, joining us through Zoom. Dan, can you hear me? Tell me more about your experiences, covering the earlier Olympics, and how did you like it? We are sitting on this moving express. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, looks incredible, I have to say. Very jealous for not being there. Just looks incredible. My father's, in fact, a huge train enthusiast, and although more his focus was on steam trains, I have to say he would absolutely love to be riding on such a modern train as that 5G Express, and certainly what the countdown really is now on, isn't it, ahead of the Beijing Games. Beijing about to host, become the first city to host both a summer and a winter Olympics, and really talking to some of the American athletes, the US athletes that hope to be there in Beijing. A lot of their focus when speaking to them has been on what to expect around that opening ceremony. So many people, of course, remember the events of 2008, that magnificent opening ceremony that took place back then. What will be the extravaganza this time round? Of course, this will, like the Tokyo Games, it takes place during a pandemic. We can't forget that, and that of course will have impacts. An Olympic Games, a big sporting event, normally is also the collaboration between different countries, the extravaganza that comes from that, from fans, from spectators, from the athletes all coming together from different countries and enjoying that Olympic experience. That won't be, of course, too much of the case this time round, of course, because of COVID-19, the pandemic continuing, as was the case in Tokyo. But just so much to look forward to. The fact that the Games is taking place at all is really just such an incredible achievement, just like the Tokyo 2020 Games. And of course, once these Games get underway, we'll then have once again this the expectation to be inspired by these incredible athletes, that they get the chance to show all that they can do to inspire us all around the world.
Dan, say hi to your father, who is a train enthusiast, about our journey this time. But I want to add one question, Dan, to you about, what would that mean for those athletes to be able to get on train like this and to have very smooth transportation during the Games?
Absolutely. I think that, for a lot of people, there was, when I was there, when in Kuala Lumpur, when Beijing were awarded the rights to host the Games. And I think there was a little confusion, a little concern, if you like, as to how this would work, how you could connect these different areas that are, of course, quite so far spread out. But watching this program, I think that will give a lot of the athletes and the media and other people coming, perhaps, soothe some nerves, some concerns to see just how smoothly this whole process seems to be, that people can work, people can relax, kind of contact home and other places, and to really kind of focus on what they're there to do, of course, which is of course try and win their events and make headlines for all the right reasons, of course, and to show off their athletic prowess. So certainly I think kind of programs like this really underline just how incredible some of those facilities look as though they're going to be there for all the people coming.
Okay, Dan Williams, our correspondent in Chicago, joining us through Zoom. We are already entering into tunnel, but we can hear you, we can see you very well. Dan Williams, thank you so much. Have a great day there. It is not just the 5G here. It is also the AR and the VR technology. And our reporter, in fact, Yunfei, has been having a lot of experiences with those technologies on this train. So Yunfei, tell us more about how it works for this game.
So we talk about 5G. It actually is the speed. It's all about the delay. So when we have 5G, there's a small delay when people communicate. What does that mean? That means that even when we're not in the same space, let's say we are doing FaceTime or we are doing Zoom or whatever things, there is no delay. So that allows reporters to communicate with each other without any geographical concern, just as what we did with them. But we did something even more interesting.
Yeah?
So we used, as you said, AI and our AR technology, and my colleague Sensu and I try out some things, new technologies, to see how this one is got applied on this train.
Show us.
See how we met in Metaverse. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
And what about, can you see me?
I can see you very clearly.
Yeah, I can see you very well. How are you?
I'm good, just a bit tired.
I know, I can tell. Busy with Olympics, right?
Lots of things happening.
Any fun stories have you covered?
Well, I've spoken to lots of athletes and also about the preparation for the upcoming Winter Games, and also check out stadiums, a lot of fun things.
All right, I think we're all set. Shall we get started? Okay. Hello, and welcome to CGTN. Today we're going to talk about how technologies are applied to Olympics news coverage. We are on this high-speed bullet train. Well, in fact, I'm all by myself because...
Because we are not in the same space. Yunfei, the weather seems to be so nice out there.
Yeah, I hope you can feel the train romance, although you're not at all on this train.
Well, I guess this technology will allow us to do the interviews during Winter Games without any geographical concerns.
To some extent, yes. And you know what?
What?
You can barely feel the delay.
Well, I guess this is where the 5G technology comes in, and it will allow us to send in story pretty quickly, I guess.
Yeah. What they did is that they built enough 5G signal towers along the Beijing to Zhangjiakou railway so that they can ensure a full 5G plus 4K transmission.
I guess that's such a good news for the press because it's especially for reporters, we need to send in our stories. You can also produce and deliver live shows.
That is a technological breakthrough of CMG, CGTN's parent company.
I'm definitely looking forward to the exceptional coverage at the upcoming Winter Games in days to come.
And we had Ziyuan earlier on the footage in the reports, and now she's sitting here with us. It's wonderful to see the duet is taking place live. So how it works?
If this is not a show, I want to play it twice. It's so fancy.
So how does that work from your perspective?
So I was sitting in a green room, so I'm not on the train with Yunfei, but it's such a big deal and quite a relief for us because we are running around to cover the Winter Games. So it's good that we can have our guests be somewhere else and we are able to talk to them. So that's quite a relief for us.
It's so crucial right now, particularly because of the pandemic, right? When we talk to analysts, when we talk to sports commentators from different parts of the world, they're going to join us through different kinds of social media platforms. It's wonderful like that. I know also both of you were covering different carriages running around this train this time. I know this is a very virgin trip, in fact, for this 5G Express. So compared to earlier experiences where you can stop at different stations, how is this time?
It's just like an express, you know.
It is an express.
It is. I mean, just connecting two stations with Taichung and Beijing. Yeah. You can certainly tell that this is definitely a train designed for the Winter Olympics. Within less than 1 hour, you can travel from Qinghe Railway Station of Beijing to Zhangjiakou's Taichung Railway Station, the two Olympic sites.
You know, it's not just about the speed of the train, it's also about the speed of reporting. It's so crucial for us. We always want to get firsthand the information and in front of everyone, right? So that is very crucial.
Yeah, and that's my part. I've been working along the way, and especially to file our stories, our interviews with athletes.
Just this morning.
Yeah, just this morning. And I actually be able to test it out with so many journalists on board because it's the first time that we travel with so many journalists on board, and the signal is just perfect.
Our audience may see a very spacious area over here in our 5G studio made by CMG. But you know, just behind us, behind the camera, already huge crowds gather over there watching our live show right now. And also huge competition taking place among the journalists about who covered the stories first and what pictures to bring in. Tell us more about how you experienced it earlier.
Well, I have to say that we have spent so much time
Yeah?
doing drills and practices for this live show because this is the first ever 4K high definition transmission on a fast train.
That's right.
So it needs so much efforts and so much team efforts.
You know, for those journalists that are joining us later during the games, you have to make sure that you know how to practice the skills of combing through the crowds, right? To get to the people that you want to get to.
Just like what I did.
The technologies will surprise you, but
Yeah.
you still got to have the journalistic skills.
Especially at the mini bar, everybody is being
tell
so
me more
crowded.
about the mini bar.
Yeah,
They
and
want
then
the badge.
They want the badge. They want actually a special design ping curling the
Oh,
pod
yeah.
itself.
Yeah.
It's so attractive. So everyone was surrounding it, and also as I just showed, you can send postcard, and this is a special edition you can get on a train nowhere else.
I am so jealous of you when you were in that souvenir carriage. You know, all the badges coming from the very first Winter Olympic Games to right now, it's amazing. Talking about amazing, this is such a short trip. I don't want to go, but we are arriving at Taizicheng Station. You know, Taizicheng is one of the venues for the 2022 Winter Olympic Games. All skiing events other than alpine skiing area scheduled to be held here. During the 2022 Winter Olympic Games, CGTN will cover the latest actions with our own studio set inside the closed loop. Sports scenes also. Our program has a special Olympic coverage plan, including the AR studio, which will take the audience on an immense journey to the games, even if they cannot be there in person. And we are arriving safe and sound, just like that. A piece of cake is the thing I said the most today, right?
Yeah.
It
also
is.
the water bottle on her bicep. I was like, wow, really? I didn't thought of that.
Yes, yes. Maybe next time we test the 3 of them. Let's see how it works in front of each of us.
Sure.
But anyway, we are at the Taizicheng Station. You know, when the technologies, it is to test the journalism skills. And now I can say that we're doing a great job, isn't it? High five! High
Yes.
five! There we go. And that's all we have from this special segment on the train in this 5G Express. And back to you, Greg, in Beijing studio. We miss you already.
Thank you, Tae-Wei. Thank you very much for taking us so long on this groundbreaking, although really more accurate to say, speed-breaking journey. That concludes our special program, the Winter Olympics 5G Express from Beijing to Zhangjiakou. Make sure to make CGTN your source for everything related to the Games and for all the results and highlights during the Beijing 2022 Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games. Now, from myself, Greg Lafredi, on behalf of all the team, thanks for watching.